Hi, welcome to the Greatest Pod Classic, where you are going to get to hear people's nerd greatest of all time from the classic pod. If you like what we're doing, mash that subscribe button and click like too. Hey, leave a comment too. Tell us your opinion about this idea. You can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/thegreatestpod, to get extra podcasts that are more personal and get art sent directly to your house. Again, that's patreon.com/thegreatestpod.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Nerd Goat, the podcast that asks interesting people who is their greatest of all time, their greatest character of all time in all of fiction. So on today's episode we have
Hana Michels.
And she is a writer for Splitsider and what else?
Funny or Die, The Hard Times. I don't know. This is all freelance shit. So
Thanks,
it sounds awesome.
Yeah, she writes all the time. I've read her articles. They're great. They're funny. She really makes people mad at her. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I got so many. I wrote a thing about I have a bit on stage about it, too, about dating sword guys, and so many dudes threaten me, and you know they all have swords, so it's so much worse.
Well, yeah, so when you say that, I don't want you don't have to do the bit, but what do you mean? Like dating the type of dudes who have swords?
Who have swords, every time. Every single time. And I bring it upon myself because I recognize swords from different things. Like, I knew when my ex, you actually know him.
Yeah.
When I walked into his place and I saw a batleth, I immediately zeroed in on him.
I have nunchucks, but no swords.
Well, there's hardly any classic nunchucks. You got like Michelangelo's nunchucks. You got like Bruce Lee's nunchucks.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no classic nunchucks. But there's a billion classic swords.
Yeah. You know those are technically illegal in California?
Yes, I do. Still have them.
Nice.
I'm a rebel.
Well, sword chucks would be doubly illegal.
Ooh. Oh, my God.
Well, dude, I always wondered about like all those like cutlery shows on like QVC. They'll sell like 500 knives for like $17.95.
Oh, yeah.
Like I would never try to stab anybody with a knife I bought from QVC. It would break off in my hand or shatter in some way.
Oh, that's why you wouldn't. Okay.
Well, if I'm in the stabbing business, I'm just not going to get them from QVC. Is what I'm saying.
I'm probably going to go somewhere where they actually make good knives to kill people with.
Yeah.
I mean, to hunt with.
Yeah, to hunt with.
I've always thought it'd be great because there's so many states that have you're allowed to carry or conceal weapons or outwardly carry your gun just on your hip, right? Yeah. I would like to make a statement, be able to do that with like swords and axes and have like shiny stars strapped across my chest. Like I walk into a diner with like two katanas, a pair of axes strapped to my waist.
So you want
ninja stars, maybe some sheaths of daggers on the side of my just ridiculous over the top, and then I just go like I act like it's normal because it's normal to carry a gun apparently, but this is for personal protection just in case someone wants to mess with me. I have many weapons with which to kill them.
Well, you want open carry martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Okay, yeah, that sounds actually a lot better than what we have.
Well, so basically, you do all this freelance writing for these websites and stuff. What do you think attracts you to that sort of stuff?
If I have a normal job, I cry all day and it makes people uncomfortable. So
that might be the best answer to that question that ever exists.
Working from home really helps.
Oh, yeah, because you can be yourself all day.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I write for and a lot of, like, freelance social media stuff I do that I don't plug because it's awful, and it's just using Twitter because baby boomers don't want to, which is fair. Yeah. It's a service.
That's interesting. Yeah. So basically, you do certain, like, do you get contracted to run certain people's Twitter accounts and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly my parents' friends, but yeah.
Well, yeah, hey, that's good enough. So,
yeah.
I mean, do they pay you for that?
Yeah, and
then it's awesome.
It's a lot more fun working on some baby boomer's passion project than working on some giant, corporation's brand that I can't imagine tweeting for that. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Martha's birdhouses are the best ones, and this is why. You're just breaking it down.
Sometimes it's hard, though, because they're shrinks, and they have a lot of shrink friends, and I have to explain not everyone is interested in Jungian dream work. This is going to take a while.
What about Jungian Pixar? Anyway, animation joke.
You just created a very, very popular Twitter account.
Well, I mean, we're very happy to have you on. We generally, well, all the time, try to have really interesting people who have a really interesting character, and I think you have a great one. So perhaps you'd like to tell us who we're going to be talking about today. Who you think is the nerd goat, your greatest of all time character that you love?
I had a hard time with this, but I finally picked Willow from Buffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ron,
I love that pick, of course.
Ron went nuts in the car when I told him. He was like, "Oh yeah!" Like he does these weird metal riffs when he gets happy. It goes Steven Tyler or somebody when he's happy. So, so why did you pick this character?
She's, I don't know. I think I would argue that she is the actual main character in a lot of ways.
Okay.
In a lot of...
Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes, Buffy the Vampire. Yeah, and she's, in a weird way, her arc is a lot more interesting than Buffy's, a lot less harrowing, but a lot more interesting. She's really complex. She's just a very well-rounded character who's powerful and awkward, and that spoke to me in so many ways.
Wait, are you saying that you were awkward sometimes?
Oh, no, not
powerful.
at all. You've seen me at shows.
Yeah.
But there's also like a power in how, like if you feel weird, but you recognize you have a certain amount of like maybe social power or something else makes you powerful. So, but at the same time, your awkwardness makes you not be able to access it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I can totally relate to that, yeah.
Yeah, and people underestimate you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Which tends to work well for you.
And that happens for Willow a lot in the show.
Constantly, yeah.
Do you think when was the first time you watched Buffy and then got into Willow?
I think it was late. I was like 20.
Yeah. Nice. That's actually the better time to get
Yeah.
into Buffy, I think.
It
Honestly.
is. Because if I watched it when I was, 15, I would have been just like, these jokes are dumb, and then, these are bad puns, and then just, turned it off. But as an adult, you can get at all of the complex emotional issues that Buffy was tackling a lot more easily.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, that happens in comics too. Like I read some old, it's just old stuff where they're talking about like anything with a grown-up slant. I was just like, wow, like this guy's worried. Like our producer Frank talks about his kid. We're probably almost the same age, and I don't have kids, and I recognize that he's a man. And I'm not, because I don't have anything I care about that much. You know what I mean? Maybe my girlfriend. I would save her from a burning building. I don't call myself a hero for that. But something where you would literally dive into a pool of lava and scrape it out of it. And you know what I mean? Like put the baby on the thing and you die as your legs melt. He would do that for his kid. I can't even imagine that.
Oh, me neither.
But then when you take it down a level to like romantic relationships or like mortality or like where does your soul go and all that shit. When you're 15, you don't understand that. When you're 20, 21, 25 maybe, you might be able to understand.
Yeah.
And loving the wrong person.
Yep.
Definitely. I mean, the whole, people hate season 6. Warren is every villain in my life.
I love season 6.
So that's I relate to season 6 on a level that, other people, I want to flay him and several men that I've met. That's...
Well, break down Warren as he relates to Willow in season 6.
Warren is a character... I guess he technically went to Sunnydale with Buffy, Xander, and Willow, and he is just kind of like a run-of-the-mill nerdy misogynist, and that hadn't really been covered back then, that, nerds can be just as bad.
As other regular dudes,
Yeah, that hadn't really been covered, and that is literally, like I said, the sword guys. That is every single villain in my life is fucking Warren.
Some nerd guy who just makes you feel like shit all the time. That's basically what Warren does the whole time, and then
The whole time.
tries to thwart your entire
And
life.
then, also creates robots and murders people.
Yeah.
Well, that's an actual nerd, and that's the funny thing. I mean, I don't want to digress too much, but we're kind of getting to where we call anybody that has enthusiasms for anything a nerd. Realistically, the nerds can fucking have a satellite fuck your house up.
Yeah.
With a few keystrokes or something. That's a nerd.
Yeah.
Somebody who likes Iron Man is not necessarily a nerd. all the time.
Depends
You
on
know
how
what I'm saying?
obsessively they like Iron Man.
Exactly. If you make an Iron Man suit, you're probably a geek and a nerd or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, you know. So I just want to make that clear. So like Warren is like a nerd. Like he's got all of the stuff of just, you know, being a consumer of pop culture, but he can also make a robot to kill you. So that's a real nerd.
And I like the idea of Willow being the nerd of the group, defeating him as well.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, Buffy...
Although she does have to, you know, go pretty fucking dark on that. And that's actually something you mentioned, which I think is great about Willow personally, is you mentioned the arc. Because when Willow starts off, she's basically, like, in trouble most of the time for the first season. And then she slowly gets better and better and stronger. She really does have an arc. Tell me what you think about that.
It's a really relatable arc in a lot of ways. Just someone coming into their own power and then having zero control over their own power. That's an arc that comes up a lot in a lot of things for a good reason. If you're a woman in comedy, it's kind of relatable just because you're like, eventually you get good at something and, oh my God, every man is scared of me. Like, that's that's something that happens.
Well, yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a pretty facile metaphor there for, like, also, like, women's sexual power, right?
Yeah.
When a woman can, like, basically, let's just break it down. Women can have sex whenever they want. They don't want to have sex with most of the people who want to have sex with them. So it's like the classic Faustian bargain. It's like,
Exactly.
You can have sex whenever you want, but it's going to be all bums and sword guys. It's like, oh, well, fuck that. Fuck that. Yeah. That's interesting. So she's got magic powers.
I don't know if you know this. The other thing about sword guys is they definitely don't hand out orgasms. It's like, I don't even know what. I don't know how the vagina works at all.
I bet you that's not true for like 15% of them. But especially if you study the art of the samurai. I'm quite sure.
Are there tantric samurais? I don't understand.
But yeah, so you're basically saying that she's one of these characters that goes from sort of a damsel into someone who's very immensely powerful, and yet the thing that keeps them from solving the plot every episode, basically,
pretty
is
much.
these insecurities.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't know, just her coming into her own. I'm sorry, audience, by the way. I had allergy shots this morning, and now my face is snot. So, I'm sorry I sound like this. But what was I saying?
Oh, the
my brain
morph.
is snot as well. What?
Yeah, no, the morph from a damsel into a powerful character.
Oh yeah, it's by the end, and everyone shits on season 7, and I get it.
Which one's season 7?
The one with the first, and how everyone's kind of. I get it. You're gearing up an entire season for one battle.
Isn't that Nathan Fillion?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that one. But
I liked it too.
I don't know if there's a season I didn't like on Buffy, though.
Let me guess. Is he the first vampire?
No, he's just the first evil.
Yeah.
In general.
Oh, okay.
It's almost like he's a concept that turns into a figure.
Yeah, for a vampire show, vampires are like the weakest villains on the show.
Absolutely.
Well, the Ron was breaking it down to me. There's like praying mantis people and demons.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, that's one of my favorite episodes when because Xander never likes the right chicks. He always
the bug lady, yeah.
the bug lady or the demon.
Yeah, or the mummy.
Yeah, the mummy. Oh yeah, the mummy.
And I forgot how influential the show was, like Buffy in general. Like I was saying, he was explaining. I didn't watch it. I was frankly, I was probably a tiny bit too. I don't know. Maybe was it on CW?
Yeah, that might have been it. Yeah.
That wasn't my jam at that time.
That's what kept me from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend for a long time, and it's an amazing show. But just it being on the CW and having that title and me not realizing they're fully cognizant of what that title is.
Right.
Like, it kept me from that show for a long time. CW actually has some good stuff occasionally.
Yeah.
Including Flash, Supernatural. In fact, pretty much every show that I watch on TV is CW now.
Well, and that's the thing. It seems like that Buffy made a big template, right? You got the will there, won't they guy, and I'm talking about for action shows or sort of will they, won't they guy. Sort of a damsel person that's like, oh, fuck, I found out about you guys' secret, and it endangers me every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. There's like all the archetypes are there. So I was pitching it. So he was pitching me Buffy, and I was like, so it's kind of like Grimm, and that's like
Grimm is like Buffy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because pretty much everything's like Buffy.
Michael
Yeah.
Jordan's like Kobe.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Kobe, but yeah.
So when did well, I'm just thinking about what's some of your favorite Willow moments?
Oh God, I know that this is like probably indicative of some underlying issues, but I keep watching the last 2 episodes of season 6. And just watching her go on that rampage is
So for those of you who don't
Very
know,
fun.
You can explain it. I'll let you explain it.
Willow's girlfriend Tara. Warren kills Willow's girlfriend Tara in an attempt to kill Buffy. A bullet goes the wrong way, and Willow is so kind of. She's become one of the most powerful witches in the world at this point, and she is so consumed with rage that the magic just kind of takes over, and she goes on this rampage to find Warren. She ends up ripping his skin off, which is fun for me to watch.
Yeah, and he's
especially
alive
when
still.
dudes are in the room, and he is alive still.
Yeah. She like keeps him alive while ripping his skin off.
Yep, it's pretty great.
That's pretty hardcore.
I kind of want to for Halloween be evil Willow. It wouldn't be that hard. Just draw some blue veins.
Yeah. That's actually a great idea.
That'd be a lot of fun.
And then you could like have like a weird like armature made of like it would look like a flayed Warren. You know, that kind of
That you're dragging around on a rope or something.
like some weird. I've seen people put on like a Jeff Scott at the Comedy Store did like I think award-winning costume with just a bunch of pipes that he's pushing and pulling, and it's an endoskeleton or exoskeleton around him. That's a whole like Tyrannosaurus or a fucking Velociraptor or something.
That's incredible.
And as he walks, it walks, and all this jazz, and it's just a bunch of pipes.
That's cool.
Like a backpack of pipes that weigh like 25
I'm too
pounds.
lazy for that.
Oh yeah, me too.
All of my costumes are things like I'll do what I call lazy Luke Skywalker. That's
Nice.
where I wear some tan pants, a wife beater as they call it, a sleeveless shirt, and then a Yoda backpack,
Perfect.
and then I'm Luke on Dagobah.
Perfect.
So the Yoda fall out on one of your flips?
I mean, he could.
Yeah, there you go. That explains why there's no Yoda.
Yeah.
No, I have a Yoda backpack, so he looks like it's Yoda.
Oh, I get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Who doesn't have a Yoda backpack? What, you don't have a Yoda backpack? Get your shit together.
Well, sword guys have a Yoda backpack, but it's full of knives. So in regards to, basically, do you feel like that's a feat of hers that you can relate to because of
Yeah.
all
Or
the
just
sword
like.
guys? Or
That's something that I have prevented myself from doing on multiple occasions.
right.
Not necessarily skinning people, but just like going on a huge rampage. So just watching someone else do it is fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. And kind of also watching her at the end of season 7 finally be able to harness that power and control it is really gratifying after just this crazy journey that we've been on of her developing so much power, becoming more powerful than the main character. And
Right.
then,
Well, how
just
did she
losing
how
it.
did she kind of get into magic and stuff? Because like Ron knows, Frank knows, I am anti-magic. It is not my jam at all. I don't fucks with magic. I think it's weird. I think most of the rules for magic are really amorphous. You know, there's just like, oh well, magic. I got the magic. Look at my like lightning tattoo. I can do everything. Bleh. You know, and I just really don't like it.
Yeah,
so like, how
Harry
did
Potter's not even a good wizard, so
But that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
It's
he's an
weird.
okay wizard.
But
He's
then
not-
I don't like chosen one concepts.
Yeah.
Because it makes everybody feel like they're a total piece of shit because they're not the one. Now, of course,
Yeah.
everybody thinks they're the one. That's how capitalism works, right?
Yeah.
We all think we're the one. And that's how it keeps going on. So,
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is like, fucking, so explain to me the magic of Buffy. If you were going to tell me on how she became a witch, how did
The
that
magic
happen?
of Buffy is really nebulous, actually.
Actually, she's right. It is, but doesn't she just mostly read books?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is she was mostly reading books before she got into magic, and then the books changed, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then she
It's-
taught herself and became super powerful by teaching herself and practicing.
Where
Yeah.
did the magic books come from?
From the library,
Yeah.
because
Literally.
Who
the
the fuck
library.
would leave magic books around? That's so weird.
that's
the school library in Buffy.
Yes, Buffy's Watcher is the school librarian, and the Watchers are always very smart.
Yeah.
They always have a bunch of information, and he gives some of the information to Willow.
Boy, Ed, if you hate Chosen One concepts, you're going to really love Buffy.
Yeah,
I do. I know.
Since the whole thing is she's the chosen one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, it's literally a ball of the things I don't like, but I do respect how many people like them, and obviously Joss Whedon is like nerd god.
Yeah.
We got
Well,
nerd goat. He's like nerd god.
Willow earns, I would say,
Yeah.
Willow earns all of the power she gets
Yeah.
and goes through some shit for it. She goes super evil,
Yeah.
and even though Warren was a piece of shit, she feels horrible for at least a few episodes having destroyed this guy,
Yeah.
and then horrible that her friend, her the love of her life has died on top of that. So she's got to recover from all of that and become a better person.
Well, because revenge doesn't give you back the person.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if you're magic.
There's an episode where she kisses someone new and immediately turns into Warren because
Whoa.
she feels like she killed Tara.
Wow.
Yeah, that was such a good episode. I
That's
forgot
pretty
about that
ill.
episode.
That's pretty ill.
Dude, Joss Whedon is one of the best writers on the planet. So
Yeah, I tried to get I tried to get my ex into it, and he was like, "These jokes are bad," and I said, "That's not the point." I know.
I mean, at CW, the thing about CW is they seem to have a house style.
Yeah,
Like a comic book company or like anything. They have a house style. They arrange their shows a certain way, and if you like that house style, somebody told me Supergirl is terrible, and I was like, it kind of is, but I didn't notice because I like it.
yeah.
Like, I don't notice how often, like, Supergirl will have to punch a random guy on the street 7 times to
Yeah.
make him stop doing something. It's like, you lifted a building 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah, no one gives a shit how many red shirts. No one cares how many red shirts in Star Trek get killed every single episode.
Right.
And knowing that if you see a red shirt, they're going to die. No one
Right.
cares.
Yeah, no one cares. The format works.
Yeah.
So basically, she's on the Doctor Strange tip where she, like, reads up a lot and spells are very important to how she uses her powers. And
Yeah.
is that kind of how it is?
Yeah, and it's always very much Willow was incredibly great with her schoolwork. Willow was incredibly great with computers. Just anything she sets her mind to, she is good at. And that's why she's great with magic. It's not some nebula. It's just she is very focused and intelligent.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's what got Stephen Strange over on me, actually, in the movies, because I never read the comic books. I mean, I looked at them a lot because the art is always so amazing. Like, he's flying through space and he's making a sun attack, a galaxy or whatever, all that weird shit. But I never could understand, like, what was so interesting about a dude who could literally do anything. But in the movie, they kind of showed you the steps that he took to learn stuff, and that there are these books, and if you're good at schoolwork, like you're saying about Willow. So yeah, I think I would like this.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah.
Is CW dumb? and
Willow might be the nerd goat just because it halfway convinced you to be okay with magic.
dude, I
Yeah.
know, right? She's magically convincing me that magic is cool. So basically, some of the trials and tribulations, I want to get into that. Like, can you name some of the things that you remember, how she, like, earned certain aspects of her magic? Or, like, because we're trying to establish, with the nerd goat thing, they're got to be the greatest of all times, and part of it is trials and tribulations
Yeah.
and feats and stuff like that. So, like, can you name something that sounds cool, like how she earned an ability or something like that?
I don't remember specifically earning specific abilities. It's more, it's a lot more just like Nebulous getting stronger and stronger. Like at season 3, she can levitate a pencil barely,
Yeah.
and at the end of season 7, she's basically a goddess. And it's not. There isn't as much focus on individual abilities as there is on the overall ability. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
it's also the Jean Grey type of thing with comic books. We always bring stuff back to comic books. We're comic book nerds, but like, yeah, this concept of like, I don't know how to use my powers. Like, I think we should talk about that because it's like a real big trope.
Yeah.
Like, it's a huge trope as much as all the dudes having big pecs and jumping and all this jazz, or all the women being like, "Oh, I love you, Todd." There's always a character who
No one
can't
loves
use
Todd.
their powers. There's always a character that can't use their powers.
Yeah. I think it's not so much that Willow can't use hers as at some point the powers begin using her.
Yeah. It's that concept of magic being alive in its own way.
Yeah. Yeah, they went a little heavy on the addiction metaphor, but it makes sense. It's there. Like, it would make sense that if you could do magic, it would be an addiction. At one point, she makes her girlfriend forget something shitty she did with a spell.
Oh,
and that's fucked up.
That's a major violation. Jeez.
Yeah. That's
I would use it
incredibly
all the
fucked up.
time, but it's still a major violation.
Remember that time I said something shitty? Guess what? Didn't say something shitty. I said something real nice, actually.
Yeah. Instead, I got you ice cream that day. Don't you remember? Oh, wow.
So what life lessons do you think you learned from liking Willow, do you think?
You know, I spent a couple days ago with someone who's like a showrunner, I guess. I don't know, who writes a comedy professionally, and I was like, here's a chapter of my book. It's not that great, whatever. And
always best way to sell something.
oh yeah, you're gonna hate it. Yeah.
But please read it anyways.
And he starts laughing out loud and was like, this is one of the funniest things, and that's like, every time I think about like the way I present myself, I think about Willow, because I just very much, I can't, it feels wrong to believe in myself.
This is also how you know she's a great stand-up comedian. Because there's not a comedian alive who's like, no, yeah, I'm fantastic at this.
Oh God, yeah.
And the good
best.
comedians are like, well, I'm decent, but like, man, do I need to work harder.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got a lot to go.
Anytime a comic tells me that they're wondering if they're delusional, I say, you're not, because you're wondering that.
Yeah.
Those guys
Yeah.
never wonder that.
Yeah. The guys who are just eating shit day in and day out are always like, man, I am so great at
Yeah.
this.
Well, and what do you think makes that though? Like, both effects. Like, I suck, but I think I'm great, or I am all powerful, but I can't accept it. Like that's weird. Like, I don't know.
That's the makings of a comic, I think.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
Willow would have been a hilarious
Oh,
comedian.
she would be amazing. Yeah. Yeah, it's there's that pie chart that goes around online that's one of the circles is absolute narcissism and the other is total self-doubt, and the intersection is art. And that's
Wow, yeah. That is ill. And plus the whole thing about like supreme confidence is doled out to the less talented.
Yeah.
Like that's I read that somewhere, and it's like, that's totally true. Like, if you kind of suck, it's best if you truly believe in yourself and will never be stopped.
Oh yeah.
You know, because like, I mean, that's how we get a lot of actors.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry, but I really feel like that's what it is. Like, I am so cool. People should look at me. Oh, I can't write.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't like create anything. But like, boy, am I somebody you should look at a lot and listen to?
Yeah,
So
plus,
fuck it.
I'm so great at pretending I have nothing inside.
Yeah. And then we know, like,
Fill
as
me up
comics,
with that character.
That sounded so disgusting.
It really did, but it was great. And on the flip side, like, we each know comics who are hilarious and amazing, and no one knows them because they don't know how to network.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We
Yeah.
all know those people.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that would be Willow.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and also just like the thing about, I do like supporting characters that eventually have more going on than the main character, because they
Yeah.
kind of have to.
Yeah.
I mean, we shit on movie stars, but I just shat on movie stars. Me, Ed Greer, just myself. The movie star mafia is going to get me.
Yeah.
But like,
If you're listening to this podcast and want to be on it, I'm cool with you.
yeah, exactly.
You can come on and make fun of Ed.
Yeah, totally. I'm a very easy target. So what I'm saying is, though, like, we shit on movie stars all the time for being these weird, like, playing the same character over and over again, but that's their job.
Yeah.
Their job is to be this empty thing that you could project everything onto. That's their job. To denigrate that is kind of weird. And then the main character is kind of that all the time. Luke Skywalker is for goddamn sure not the most interesting person in Star Wars.
No.
Not by a damn sight.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's interesting about Buffy, that she's hanging out with like an undead vampire dude with a soul and a fucking super powerful witch and praying mantis people. And she's just like, I'm a super strong chick who stabs vampires in the chest.
Yeah.
It's just like that's.
And
that's
Xander, the only regular dude, is
Yeah.
the wussiest of the group. All the time.
There's an episode about Xander called The Zeppo, which I guess is a Marx Brothers reference.
Yeah.
Just to the fact that he's that guy who's just there. I don't know.
He's the comedic.
I was watching
relief.
it with someone, and they called him Vampire Chandler, and it pissed me off so much.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's not accurate.
It's not accurate.
But it is funny.
But I get it.
Yeah.
Could that be any funnier? That's really funny.
So, is there anything shitty that you remember, Joss, or who's the other lady who wrote for Buffy? My
There were a
brain's-
few.
Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 really
Hopefully there were a few.
good. There were, but now I can't think of their names off the top of my head,
Same
which makes
here.
me a nightmare person.
Yeah, I'm going to think of them as soon as I get home.
Yeah, of course. Is there anything shitty that anybody did that you don't think she would have done in any of them? Or did they stay pretty consistent, do you think?
Well, there's something inconsistent about Willow's sexuality because they were deciding whether or not to make Xander or Willow gay. So
Right.
in the beginning, Willow has a boyfriend and has this flirtatious thing with Xander.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves Xander, and Xander's kind of, I like Buffy. Like,
Yeah, and there's a whole people have debated over whether or not she's bi, but she calls herself gay, so that's the end of that debate for me. So I don't know. It's an interesting journey that the writers went on, and the first time you get any hint of it is when a vampire version of Willow from another dimension comes to their dimension and terrorizes the school and is super gay and hits on herself, which is
Well, that's pretty narcissistic. Like
the
cover of another dimension to hit on yourself. That's
But if you're
funny.
the opposite of Willow, you're going to be super narcissistic.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really interesting. Well, so basically, Willow, more or less, do you think she stays over the course of those changes? Does she stay a pretty consistent character?
Personality-wise, I'd say so. I don't know. There are a couple of character moves that might not necessarily. I don't even know if I could say that. Yeah, I think she does stay pretty consistent.
Well, and one of our things we do like to ask is like, is there something that you would want the character to do or see her do? Now that you've known her, you've seen her through the whole arc of the entire show, and like, was there something, like, me personally, just to give you an example of what we're going for, is like, when I was a kid and I would read the Star Wars books, and they would have these epic like lightsaber battles, and like, oh, this guy did a flip and then he cracked the earth, and then it threw a mountain at a guy, and all this jazz. And I read the comic books where like Luke Skywalker could like look at an Imperial Walker and make it crumble, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, we're about to get some dope ass movies. And then the late '90s had the prequels, and they would just flip around, and
Yeah.
Yoda's not even cool, and you know what I mean? Like, Yoda flips around a bunch, and they get smacked up by an old man in the Senate chamber, and it's like, come on, dude, this is whack as fuck. I envisioned worlds breaking when these people were fighting. Was there anything like you? Fuck! I wish they had the budget to do something like this with Willow.
I haven't finished the comics yet, so I can't say for sure.
If they haven't done something you wanted them to do already.
Yeah,
I haven't finished
exactly.
comics either. What are they on now?
I don't know.
I know they did
They're-
season 8.
They did season 8. I think they're pretty far. And they also did pre-Buffy.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did.
I didn't know that.
They did like pre. I think even pre the movie, which has nothing to do with the show whatsoever. It's just a vague approximation.
Well,
of
yeah,
the
can we
character.
talk about that for a second? Because like I saw the movie.
Yeah.
I've never seen the show. I saw the movie.
Movie's decent.
Because I think I was in love with what's her Helen Slater? What's her name? The lady who played Buffy in that movie.
Ah, crap.
Kristen something. Anyway, I thought she was super hot back in the days. I was like, that's a woman. That's a knife, whatever. And so I was like, this is great. And then she's like fighting Paul Rubens, who's a vampire, and all this jazz. I don't remember anything about it, but I was like, oh, that's kind of fun and enjoyable. And I saw like this empire sprouted from it. I was like, what the fuck?
It's completely different in tone. I mean, there are some.
Christy Swanson.
Christy Swanson.
And it was Jane Espenson that I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
She's great.
Yeah, she is.
All right.
There are some like similar campy elements, but it's so very different. It's so much darker and more complex, the show.
Well, I think back in the days, they felt like any concept that was like that, they would have to cutify it up. Like I heard that there's a Green Lantern movie that was going to be made with Jack Black. It was just going to make fun of the whole concept of like, oh, you got a ring? That's dumb. It's got powers? That's dumb. Now, personally, I would love to see that movie. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, like, if I liked something dark and they made it into some weird cotton candy thing, I don't think I would like that.
Yeah.
But it seems like they had to sell it that way, and then Joss got a second chance to do it right.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think there's definitely room for both things.
I think the better way to ask this question is actually, if you could write fanfic, not necessarily dirty fanfic, but just fanfic.
Definitely dirty.
But you can do that too. Of Willow, what would it be?
Oh, God.
Have you ever thought about a story that you would love?
Honestly, I have never seen Willow in an equal wits battle. I have seen Willow battle herself a lot. And I've seen Willow battle people who are stronger or weaker than her. But we've never seen Willow battle someone who is on equal footing.
Yeah, intelligence-wise.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'd like to see that very much.
That would be awesome. I like that as well.
Maybe versus anti-magic dude. Or something. I have stuff that turns off magic. Now you have to XYZ. I don't know. Maybe that's stupid. But yeah, I like characters who can't do their main thing. Like, or somebody negates your main thing. Yeah. Now you have to go do something else. All my favorite Wolverine stories are where they temporarily turn off his healing factor. So he can't just wade into battle, slicing dudes up and getting shot in the face 100 times. He's like, shit, man, I got to plan this out like the Punisher. Let me think. Fuck, bro. I got to think about this one. I can't just jump off a roof on top of a bunch of ninjas and hope it works out.
There are a couple times in the show where Willow can't use magic, either because it's really early on or because she's overused it. And she has to resort to computer hacking, which is also a really incredible skill.
Well, computer hacking is magic in the modern era, I would argue.
I mean, if you're good at it, it seems like it.
Well, I mean, even the Fast and the Furious dudes have a computer dude.
Yeah.
Because they need to make the bridge go down so we can jump our fucking cars or whatever, you know?
Yeah, everyone has to have the computer person in the modern action film. It has to be done.
Yeah, the new Spider-Man movie calls it the guy in the chair.
Oh yeah,
like the guy in the chair with the screens.
I like that.
Oh yeah, he's headed northwest.
Yeah.
Magnify. Whatever.
Yeah, there are all these tropes enhance that don't exist. There's no such thing as enhancing a photo.
Well, have you seen that classic? What's it? It's like the CSI or one of CSI or whatever the fuck.
Criminal Minds,
something like that. This chick is trying to hack, and this dude is like, nah, bitch, you ain't hacking right. I'm going to hack this shit, too. And then so they both start touching the keyboard to hack faster.
Yeah.
It's the most ridiculous thing
you've
ever seen in your life, dude.
Yeah.
CBS.
Hacking is the most boring thing ever because it's really just some dude writing a script, then going through and making sure he didn't put an apostrophe or a colon in the wrong place. He runs a debug thing, and it's like, shit, I've got 3 problems. I got to go back and find where I put the wrong colon. Shit.
Dude.
And, I didn't put close quotes on this. And that's like 5 hours later, he's eating 4 bags of Doritos and drinking 64 ounces of Mountain Dew, and then he burns it onto a disc. Then he goes to the place. He puts it into the computer, pushes the run key, and then there's then it's hacked, and that's it.
Yep.
Snowden over here.
It's real boring.
Yeah.
Programming is boring ass shit, man.
I love how in a lot of movies, too, every hacker is like a mind reader, and they just know someone's password instantly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
they do that for Criminal Minds all the time.
Automatically. No, and if you're a mind reader...
They look at his room, and they're like, he's got a picture of this, picture of that, and this... Oh, look at these scratches. This means Legoland 47. You were right the first time? That's insane.
If you're that good, you don't need to hack the computer.
No.
That's the thing. You can just figure out whatever information you need.
It's like, what is it? It's 3:58? They're at Starbucks. Yeah. And then you just go there and get them. Fuck their computer. Take that for evidence, and then go catch them if you can mind read them. That's funny. I just really feel like, overall, as we wrap up, basically... I think we've asked all the questions on our list. Is there anything about Willow you would like people to know?
No, there's a couple things. You're bad at the list.
I am good at the list.
All right, you're great at the list. Well, what character would you pick for her to go for? Because one of the things we like to do, we do two things. We like to do a battle royale, and then we'll ask you why you will make your case for her being the best and your favorite. But what character would you pick her to go up against? Pick Willow to go up against? Magic character or?
Probably, I don't know, probably like Doctor Strange.
All right.
Or Doctor Strange and
about
Harry
Zatanna?
Potter. How about fucking Harry Potter? I would love to see Willow flay Harry Potter. I think I'd love to see a bunch of children.
Yeah, normally
cry.
we're like, who do you?
Yeah.
We try to pick somebody who would beat it. He just wants to see somebody play Harry Potter. Basically.
She 100% would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would agree with that.
Yeah, Willow versus Hogwarts as an institution.
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome.
All right. And what do you think your reasons for Willow being what you consider the nerd goat, or just your favorite in general?
Willow is one of the best nerd archetypes in terms of just being incredibly brilliant and completely socially just a disaster. Willow is incredibly relatable, yet incredibly supernatural and surreal. She's an amazing character.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's a great reason. That's one of the reasons I like her so much. And just like you said, I really enjoyed that her arc is so huge, and she's been through so much, and she is a different person.
Yeah.
At the end of it, a confident badass who still maybe a little bit awkward.
Yeah,
but
she's completely different.
Yeah, I like that too.
Well, I think you've convinced me to give Buffy a shot, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah, you win on that alone.
Dude, because I'm telling you, dude, but Blade versus Buffy ain't no contest to me. But if there's a magic chick and a bunch of cool shit like that going on, I think I could dig it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, the greatness of Buffy isn't Buffy. I hate to say it, but
No, you're completely right. And it's funny because the fans would agree with you. When you go to a convention, nobody really cares about Sarah Michelle Gellar except for a couple of creepy dudes who think she's hot. Everybody wants to meet Willow and Xander.
yeah.
That's the facts right there.
That's a big feat by Joss Whedon to make such strong supporting characters that people actually relate to them more. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, basically, guys, please rate and review us. You just listened to this. It was awesome, right?
Yeah.
Take that feeling right now and push the buttons. 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars, and say something nice about us, and say something nice about Hannah as well.
And you can follow us at Nerd Goat Podcast on Twitter. We got our Twitter up and running, and it's going to be pretty sick.
And on Facebook. And Hannah, you got anything coming out in about a month that you wanna talk about? Some shows or any place that people can follow you for articles or anything like that?
Yeah, my Twitter is at Hana Michels. It's at HANAMICHELS. I am one of the ungoogleable, but that's what it is. And every third Sunday of the month, we have the Hard Times Live at Nerd Melt.
Oh yeah,
And that's a fun show.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. This was awesome.
Cool.
I never get to talk about Buffy. I have like a couple one-liners in my stand-up that I tell just to be able to see like, oh, you're the one person in the audience who gets my Buffy joke. It's great.
That's awesome. Well, maybe we should have you on Comics and Comics sometime then.
That'd be
No,
great.
we definitely should.
Yeah, definitely. We'll talk to Tom. It'll happen. Okay, guys, thanks for listening, and be nice to each other out there, all right?
Ron's so positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to Nerd Goat. 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 Goat.
Well, that was a classic Nerd Goat episode. If you had a good time, please rate, review, subscribe, push the like button, do all the stuffs that you do to support the things you like. Thanks. We'll see you next time.